that takes me, Nomad.
That's a damn good start. All right, you want to be a nomad? Take that stupid mask off your face. I gotta see your face, sunshine. In the blue hell are you? Holy crap!
Familiar?
Whoa, hey, I wasn't at that last show. I thought we were cool, man. We settled, we fought, we hugged it out, and I gave you a McChicken.
See, as far as I'm concerned, you and I are good.
Okay.
But Norton, your big ass clown, and Ace, your leader, they need to know I'm coming. And I want you to give them a message for me. Just let them know it doesn't matter where they go. I'm here for them.
All right.
I want you to give them that message.
Two things, okay? Thing number one, I already know what Ace is gonna say about your little message.
Okay.
And thing two, you should already know this. I ain't no messenger boy! Punk, you think I'm gonna deliver messages?
I really
wish
you didn't do that.
Yeah?
Hey, give this one, that message you can give to Ace. This one you can give to Norton. Doesn't matter where they run to, I'm coming back. They're never going to see it coming. Oh, and your other cronies? I don't think they made the cut. You're in front of my door, Junior!
Hello, my name is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports, and I'm coming to you tonight with a special interview with somebody I've known for many, many years. He is formerly CJ Anderson of the Nomads and is now known as Anderson Knight. How are you doing tonight, Anderson?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm just leaving the gym late night in the car. I wanted to get with you before it got too late.
Oh, yeah.
I think you had to like 8 o'clock or something like that, and it'd be pretty close to that by the time I got home if we didn't do it now.
Hey, it's all good, my friend. So I want to jump right into it, man. And I think the question on everybody's mind: why did you step away?
I was having some issues with my health. My back was messed up. My shoulders were messed up. I was having some breathing problems. I was overweight. At the time I stepped away, I was pushing about 260, almost 270. When I went to see the chiropractor, my neck didn't have a bend in it anymore. My spine was sideways. Like if you were to, the x-rays looking at me from the front, it actually curved, went up and to the right. So it was like curved sideways a bit, almost like if I was sitting on a wedge, which is weird because I don't even sit on a wallet. I put my wallet in my front pocket. And then that obviously, when your spine's messed up, I had issues with my knees, hips, shoulders, and it was just years of abuse. And then being, overweight, I had issues with the breathing and blood pressure, and I just was in a bad way. When I was getting burned out, I was on the road. We were going, 2 or 3, sometimes 4 shows every weekend, and I let a lot of the health issues catch up. Yeah. And I needed to step away, and I didn't mean to step away quite as long, but my last few matches weren't as great. Nomads decided to they made the decision for me, and they attacked me in Kalamazoo, as you saw, and they made I decided that that was going to be it, and I wasn't going to go solo anymore, so I was going to get myself better, and I gave myself about 6 months, and then COVID happened, and COVID turned it into damn near 2 years.
Yeah. So going through all of that, who or what made you decide to return?
It was kind of a group effort. I had had some friends that, said they wanted to see me do it again. You were a big supporter from day one. I think from the day that I stopped wrestling, you were already a bug in my ear to get back into wrestling.
Ask,
My wife,
ask Byron Marsh about that
you
sometime.
know, I, I believe it. My wife was, real big into it. She wasn't, a huge fan of me being gone as much as I was when I was first doing it, which I understand because I was gone a lot.
Yeah.
But she missed seeing me do something I was passionate about. And I think a lot of that hit one of the times I went to a training session, and she, saw me working with some students in the ring and just kind of saw that like fire inside again, being in the ring. And it was, and she started really pushing hard and putting gear together for me. And I had some other friends that you don't want to name drop a whole bunch of people, because there's too many to list, name off. And
Yeah.
the guys like Ace and Road Rash and them, I guess, Pickles the Clown or Walking Nightmare, I'll give them props. If they didn't do what they did, I wouldn't want to get back, because obviously I want to get back to kick their ass. And then you got guys like, Nick and Benny and Sean, who nobody have ever really heard of, but, they're friends of mine that, they motivated me to get back.
Yeah.
They know who they are when they hear their names.
Yeah, exactly. I get you. What went into your return, and were you nervous?
Quite a bit. I actually didn't plan on returning yet. My dates that I thought I was going to return on were not going to be until November, and those dates are still set. I got a message from IPW asking me if I wanted to come to their show that was just last weekend now. And I told them that I wasn't ready. I did not say I wasn't ready. My gear wasn't ready. Health-wise, I was feeling pretty good. So I told them I would come down. It was in Paw Paw, which is about 40 miles from my house. And I was nervous the whole way. Is there a PG rating on your podcast?
Nope. Go ahead, swear.
I won't say anything like it won't be too bad, but I was just gonna say I basically I didn't piss myself, but I came close plenty of times, and I think I went to the bathroom to pee probably about 20 times that day. And
before before 5 o'clock when somebody showed up to the building.
Right. Yeah. And oh my God, dude. So I got there, seeing the ring again for the first time, and your nerves start to set in. And I thought the show started an hour before it did. The doors opened at 6. I thought it was start at 6, so I started warming up at 6, a whole hour before the show even started. So by the time the show started, I was more than warmed up, and by that time, the first, I was supposed to be the first match, and the jitters had been getting to me for a full hour at that point because I was an hour ahead, and I was behind the curtain, and they decided they wanted to open the show with like a 10-minute long video. And I got behind the curtain, so I was ready to go. And that 10-minute long video, in my mind, it may as well have been an hour, because I was just sitting there waiting and waiting. And after you warm up for an hour, and then you sit and you think and you contemplate and you sit there for 10 minutes and everything tightened up, I think I damn near pulled a hamstring standing up when my music finally hit. But I was ready to go, and all the butterflies and everything, they were gone as soon as I walked through the curtain, just like usual.
So I feel like I got to share the backstory about this a little bit, because like I said, you and I have known each other for many years, and we've ridden to shows together, and we've talked wrestling a lot together, pretty much on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis. And so old Anderson here was texting me the entire day because he knew I was going to Paw Paw. And he kept asking me, it's like, what time are you going to be there? Where are you sitting? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting back row because I don't like to be front and center in the crowd. Just told him. And then, I had just asked him if he had my mask that I gave him to get revenge at the Nomads little club there. And so he's like, yeah, I got the mask. Sitting there waiting for the show to start, and like you, 10-minute video. I'm like, man, I wonder how they're gonna open this show. Out comes Anderson Knight, first thing on the show. And I'm like, what in the hell? IPW fooled me again.
Hey, I legitimately have family in Allegan, like just like 10 miles up the road. So
Yeah.
that was my story. And I was right. I said, I probably won't be able to see the first match. I mean, well, technically, I wasn't able to sit in the crowd and watch the first match.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta tell you, it was great. It was great. Honestly, it was great towards the end of the show, just sitting with you and having a couple beers and just poking fun of Derek Wolf, who absolutely deserves everything that he gets coming his way. But what was I going to ask you? How did you feel after your first match?
Honestly, I felt great. I wasn't really sure how I was expecting to be pretty sore because it's been a while since I've done anything in the ring, and it's a whole different kind of cardio, because you're coming off the ropes, you're getting, slammed around and, getting hit. And it's, I've amateur wrestled and I've played football. I've done a lot of sports, and it's a whole different kind of monster. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was a little sore afterwards, not as bad as I expected. But I felt pretty good. I was a little more prepared than I guess I thought I would be.
Yeah.
My cardio could have probably been a little better, but I feel like I'm always going to say that.
Yeah.
My biggest fear was I was going to have a 2-minute match because it was going to take me a minute to get blown up, and it was going to take the guy 30 seconds to beat my ass, and then probably another 15 to 20 seconds to pin me. And then the last 15 to 20 seconds is them showboating beating me. And that didn't happen, obviously, because I took his head off. So.
Yeah, I know. And so it's just a side question, because a lot of people hit the spine buster, but not a lot of people hit the Arn Anderson spine buster. Like, has anyone ever kind of like come up to you, like a fan? Have they ever come up to you and just was like, that was like very awesome to see, or something like that?
I've had a lot of definitely a lot of old school fans appreciate it. Arn himself is appreciative that I taught it to him back in the day. But no, for real, I had a lot of old school fans do appreciate it, and it's funny to me. A lot of the younger generation, they actually haven't seen it, because I think the last person that's really done it on a main stage has been Triple H.
Yeah,
honestly, and he's been retired for so long that a lot of people haven't seen the twisting style.
Yeah,
and when I do it is, again, depending on my energy level, is when I get them up in the air, I don't necessarily just twist with it. I jump with it. We're I'm 2 or 3 feet off the mat before I even twist. And a lot of people, they appreciate that impact and that little bit of inventiveness. And but I do get a lot of the old school fans that they get excited when they see that, because they say that as like, it's been a long time since they've seen that style, the Arn Anderson style spine buster in a wrestling match.
Before they turned their backs on you, what did the Nomads mean to you?
Quite a bit, man. They it was definitely a brotherhood, man. They really lit a fire under my wrestling career. It wasn't really that long into it when I met them. A lot of people don't know this. I've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I wasn't even a full year in when I broke my leg in a wrestling match. And I was getting pretty good bookings for being so green, and I broke my leg. I was out for a couple months, and all of the promotions I was working at a few of them weren't running anymore, but the most that were, they said they didn't have a spot anymore, or that, they weren't interested for one reason or the other. And I went from working, 2 or 3 or more shows weekly
Yeah.
to one a month.
Yeah.
And that was in Saginaw. UWA was ran by Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And nothing against him. I liked working there, but it hurt to only be able to get that show. I'll be eternally grateful that he gave me that opportunity, but it hurt to only, have all these places say that, like, oh, we don't have anything for you, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking at just about a year in at the time, a little over a year in, and I was like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I can't get anybody interested. I don't know why. At the time I kind of get it. I was green. My gear was kind of boring. I wasn't in the greatest of shape. I was looking better, but I wasn't great. And the doubts start creeping in, and Ace at the time, he showed up to UWA because he was just starting to do his t-shirt stuff. The face kicked apparel. I don't even know if he called it that at the time.
Yeah.
And I had seen him at a couple shows prior, and we had talked about possibly teaming up. He liked my look, and we started talking about it again there. He didn't have a show to be on at the time. We talked for about 30, 40 minutes, maybe even an hour. And he ended up, out of that, somehow got me on a PPW show in Holland, not too far from where I live. And like I say, kind of rest is history. The first PPW show, I guess, the promoter, he brought me in, and Ace was on the show. He had a match against Rhino, which was a pretty good match. I didn't do anything with them. The Nomads weren't even a thing yet.
Yeah.
And the promoter liked me, and he brought me in again. And a couple months went by. They came back to Holland, and I feel sorry for that guy for taking his chances on me, because the second time he brought me in, we decided that was the day we were going to form the Nomads, and we ran roughshod over them and it kicked everybody's ass for years to come.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we made our own opportunities, and it was Ace and I, and Mo Evans, his original tag team partner, he was with us, and
Yep.
Ryan Donahue, and we were the original 4 at the time, and that's
Yep.
where it started, was the second time in Holland. And through that, kind of chance meeting, and everybody started calling. They all wanted the Nomads on their shows.
Yeah.
And that lit a fire under me. This is the third time I've said that, but I don't know, I guess a better way to put it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. I didn't know this until he and I talked about it, as he was going through kind of a stale moment also. And, him and Mo was retiring not long after that. And he was kind of going through a stale moment of himself. And that's what he said, is, teaming with me was kind of like motivational for him. And he had a couple years in, I want to say like 5, 6, at least 6 years in at the time. I could be getting my math wrong, but he said he felt like, a greenhorn again. He said he felt like a rookie again, new to the business. And, we just took over like it was our first day, starting. Yeah. And that meant a lot, because it opened a lot of doors. We won a lot of championships. We went, into Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin. We went to the Carolinas, West Virginia. We went a lot of places.
Yeah. It's you guys ran pretty hard for quite a few years, and want to kind of fast forward to something that happened recently. What motivated you to show up to the Nomads Club and attack Road Rash?
I got tired of seeing their videos online, because I follow a lot of wrestling still.
Yeah.
And they're still a pretty hot commodity. And it's like everywhere I turned, I still saw them. And I saw Road Rash was running in like a Nomads like clubhouse. He had like tryouts or whatever at their little hangout. And he was kind of in my position, I guess, if you want to put it that way. He was Ace's partner after I was gone. He and I had a little falling out. Even before I was kicked out, he and I butted heads a little bit, and,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess some of those feelings came back, and then after I got kicked out and I saw them teaming up again, he wasn't the one that attacked me in Kalamazoo, but for whatever reason, he was the one that had the target on him. And I called you up and I said, hey, I got an opportunity to get in the ring, and I need to borrow a mask, and no questions asked. You let me borrow a mask, and then and I don't think you knew I was storming the Nomads clubhouse, but you saw how the rest of it unfolded, and technically I was invited into the Nomads twice because you saw at the end of that video they offered me a spot after afterwards I hit him with I don't know, with hammer or pipe or whatever the hell. I don't even remember what happened that night. I just remember I took my mask off and I clocked him.
Yeah. Now you don't have to reveal any secret plans if you don't want to, but I have to ask, what plans do you have for the Nomads?
Go through them one at a time. I don't really have anything else to go after Road Rash unless he makes it a problem. My two biggest ones are going to be Nightmare, used to be formerly Pickles, the Walking Nightmare, Joseph Norton, and Ace Evans.
Okay.
They're the two that attacked me in Kalamazoo. Donahue, as far as I know, he and I have always been cool. I don't even think he's really doing anything anymore. I know he lost a retirement match to Mr. One Night Only a couple months ago. If he wants to get involved, sucks to be him. Mo Evans, I don't know if he's going to get involved. Again, sucks to be him. But he and I have always been good. Brothers fight.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't care for the guys. I'm pissed. I was at a low point, and Nightmare and Ace, they decided they took their frustrations out on me that night, and those are the two I'm going after. Hannah, she came into this after everything happened. I'm going to say the same thing. She wants to get involved. I'll take her head off just like I did Storm Graham. Chuck Whedon moved down to Florida. I see he comes up here every once in a while and he takes bookings. I tagged with Chuck, when he first joined the Nomads.
Yeah.
Chuck and I are on good terms as far as I know.
Yeah.
If he gets involved, he's bigger than me. I will kick him in the knees until he's not, and I will take his head off. But I don't want to, because I like those guys and girl. But it's those are my plans. I want Norton and I want Ace.
So I want to backtrack a little bit because you've obviously been gone for 2 years, and obviously there's always new fans that are coming around, and they might not know who you are just from you being gone for and I said it was almost 2 years. It's actually almost closer to 3 years since you've been gone. So
It'd be 2 fully in January, because I had my math wrong. My last official match was January 2020.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
For some reason, I thought it was 19. It was 2020.
So did I. So but still, that's a long time to be gone. And so I just want to ask you, what are your first memories of pro wrestling? What made you want to get into it?
My very first memories, that if I can remember as far back, is I may have watched wrestling even younger than this, but the first thing that really sticks out in my mind, and I want to almost say it was possibly like Saturday Night Superstars or something, but it was Undertaker shoving Hulk Hogan in a casket, and I remember he locked it. And I remember I was little, like real little. I don't even know how old I would have been at that time. And just like crying because they had to, I remember they came out and I don't remember if they cut it with bolt cutters or torches or whatever, but I remember they had to cut the locks off. And I was just enthralled with it. And it was funny to me about that as the showmanship of the WWF at the time, because there was that, and I remember like Papa Shango shaking the thing and like the ooze coming out of Ultimate Warrior's head. And it wasn't too much longer after that we went down and visited some family in Florida, and I got a taste of like Sting and Ric Flair and the more sports athletic side of it, and it was like night and day difference. But if it happened between the ropes, I didn't give a crap if it was cinematic or if it was athletic. I was addicted. I was addicted 100%.
Awesome.
And I had a
So,
huge crush on Sherry Martel. Everybody's like, "Oh, my first crush was the Pink Ranger back then," or what's her name, Pamela Anderson in Baywatch.
yeah.
Little secret: my very first crush was Sherry Martel.
My, you know what's funny is I'm actually kind of on the opposite end. Mine was Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, I can see that though.
I thought she was gorgeous. I just, as a little kid, I thought she was gorgeous, and so when
Sherry was sensational.
yes, yes. So when you finally decided you wanted to do this, who trained you?
Professionally, because I did go about it the wrong way, and I don't want to get into that just for the sake of, I don't want to hurt feelings. Josh Raymond, who I think is absolutely like the best, because he is meticulous to the point where if you're off on anything, I swear 1/100th of a freaking millimeter, he makes you redo it. And his psychology is, I swear, it's second to none.
Yeah.
Josh Raymond was my teacher, and he is amazing. Like, he is an amazing wrestler. He's like, his promos are fire. His matches are fire. Like, I don't know, the dude is all around, man. And I swear he was born in the wrong era, because him in his prime right now in like the NXT eras, dude, he'd be on TV. And I take nothing away from him. He was in his prime in a day when monsters were the big thing.
Yeah.
He was, and
he's
amazing now. I mean, he came back doing his little corkscrew stuff and all that. Like the last few times I saw him doing that, and he's not that much older than I am, and I can't imagine. I do one front flip, and
well, it's funny is I actually gave Josh a new nickname earlier this year, because I was doing a lot of research on him, because him and I have gotten to really know each other well and become friends and stuff like that. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I decided to start calling him the World Traveler, because of everywhere he's worked and the people he's worked. Like, I don't want to start like naming everybody's work, but if you look at the AEW and WWE rosters currently, he's worked a lot of guys on those rosters.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You look them up on YouTube and find out what names they used on the independents, and search their name and versus Josh Raymond or Josh Abercrombie, and you're probably going to find a match or several.
Yeah, exactly. And so there are some people that probably do not know who CJ Anderson was prior.
The Denver Broncos, the Detroit Lions,
or the CW original, which we can.
Oh, gee, that was CW.
Whatever, we can, yeah. But for those who did not see your work as CJ Anderson, what would you say your most memorable match was under your old persona?
I had a lot of good ones, but the most memorable.
Give me a couple. Don't narrow down to one. If you have
no, I do actually want to put this down to one, because I've thought about it, and the reason that I put this down to one is because it was the first time that I felt really good in a singles match. Like, it was the first time I like, fitness wise, like, I felt good. My cardio felt good. I felt like it had just everything about the match made me very happy. And it was actually myself against Tommy Vendetta at PPW Iceland Arena. And it was the first time I faced off one-on-one, and he was still pretty green. I think he had just started kind of with DTA. He may have been about 30 pounds lighter than he is now, smiled a hell of a lot more, and when he smiled, he didn't scare you.
Yeah,
And
yeah. They don't call him the
and
lovable. They don't call him the lovable psychopath for a reason.
that is probably my absolute favorite match because it's the first time I had a match where I felt good through the entire thing, except for when he was kicking my ass.
Yeah.
But like, I just didn't, I didn't feel winded. I didn't feel blown up. I actually wore the same fringe pants that I wore last Saturday. They didn't have belt loops, so it was hard to keep them up. But I've had a lot of really good tag matches with Ace. We've had amazing tag matches. My kryptonite has always been singles matches, and that was the very first singles match I was proud of, like all around proud of, and that's why that one will always like hold dear to my favorite as my favorite match.
So I want to expand on that question. Would you like to now that Tommy Vendetta has evolved, any interest in facing him again?
Oh God, yes. Not in a death match though. I'm too pretty for that.
Hey, he's too pretty for that, and he's still doing it.
I would love to fight Tommy again, and that's not saying I hate the guy. I want to punch him in the face. No, I like the competition. I like the wrestling aspect of it, and I think my favorite part, or I can't say my favorite part of wrestling him because I've never wrestled this Tommy Vendetta that's out there now.
Yeah.
But the thing that intrigues me the most is I don't know what the hell he's gonna do. It's like, you're fighting the Tasmanian devil with like, I don't know, he's so sporadic, and there's no method to his madness, and maybe there is and nobody else sees it. But I don't know, I think that intrigues me, is getting in the ring with somebody like that and just seeing what could happen.
So I wanted to actually know, well, you got me expanding on all these questions a little. You mentioned tag matches. Is there any one or two memorable tag matches that stand out to you?
Yeah, probably the very first time that I was in oh my God, what is that town? Birch Run.
Bertrand.
There was an expo center over there. We had Ace and I had a tag team title match against Xavier Justice, and debuting for the first time ever, Salem Ash, who would later become the freaking ripped ass Karam. And it was kind of fun because I don't remember who Xavier's partner was supposed to be. It was a big name though, and I remember I was nervous because like, man, I don't know how this is gonna work. Like I believe it was an NXT guy, and I want to shoot myself because I don't know who the hell it was. And when they came and told me it was gonna be Salem Ash, fresh out of training, I was like, oh, thank God, it's gonna be so easy. And then I saw Salem Ash. I'm like, oh my God, this dude could bench press a freaking car. We had to have Donahue throw fire in his face so he could win the freaking match.
Saw that match.
Jesus.
I remember.
And he's only got bigger since then. Jesus Christ.
So
but that was fun. That was a fun match just because Birch Run in itself was a lot of fun, but it was the first time I got to see Karam like in wrestling. Like I've seen him, as a student, and it's different when they're in like baggy sweatshirts and then when they're actually in ring gears, across the ring from you. And then that one stands out for that reason. The other one that stands out for like just the sheer, I don't know how you put it, like the fun, like I can't believe I'm in this match kind of a thing, is when we had our Ace and I had our match against again at Birch Run, OVE, when they were like running roughshod over Impact.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of drama that followed Dave and all that back then. Whatever, put all that crap aside. I'm not looking to get into politics. All I know is they were the hottest thing going on in Impact, and we beat them in Birch Run, and that was cool.
Yeah, and and Ace actually, I think it was earlier this year. that he beat Jake and Matt Cross in a triple threat match. So there's some history there, and maybe that should. Who knows? Maybe someday that will be revisited somewhere.
What's funny is you go back further, and then you got God, what were they back? Irish Airborne. My trainer, Josh Raymond, and rest in peace, Christian Abel. Their tag team match against Irish Airborne. I went back and watched a lot of that footage to get ready for our match against them.
So you brought up Karam in his earlier stages. Now that he's evolved, any chance you want to revisit that?
Oh yeah, I'll wrestle anybody, man.
Okay.
See, there's not a single person at all that I'm intimidated by and would not want to have a match with.
Okay.
Not saying I can beat everybody and that nobody can beat me, because that's not the case. I'm just not intimidated to not have a match with him.
Fair enough.
Because he's a big, scary son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But I would love to throw hands with him just to see what would happen.
Fair enough. I'm going to go through a couple promotions, the mainstream ones, and when I name one, tell me who your dream opponent would be. So I am going to start with AEW.
God, they have a huge roster. Brock Anderson.
Okay. I can see that for the obvious reasons. Impact Wrestling.
Impact. Now, it's been a long time since I've actually got a chance to watch Impact, so if this guy's not on it, I don't know. But is Abyss still on Impact?
No, he actually works for WWE as a writer or agent.
Well, shit.
I know who I would like to see you face, my personally, myself, and he is from Michigan. I think you and Jake something could have a nice throwdown.
Oh, okay. I would do that.
Yeah.
I know who he is. I've never had a match with him, but yes.
New Japan.
Let's see. You're getting me all these ones that I just.
It's hard to follow. There's so much wrestling on nowadays.
It's not only that is it hard to follow, but it's I don't have cable anymore. Everything I watch is to be honest, if it's not on in like Hulu or something or Netflix.
No, fair enough. No, fair enough, dude. Totally understand it. But I'll give you the last one, which is obviously an easy one. And you can pick from all three shows. WWE.
So if it were on NXT, I would want to do Ciampa.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be hard hitting and fun.
Yeah.
I have a sick definition of fun, but I think that would be fun. NXT UK. As much as my fingers don't want to agree with me, I would want to say Pete Dunne. You snap every single one of them, but he's so technical. Like, and other than the joint manipulation, I would love to actually wrestle with him. I know people like to hate on him, man, but I would love to do something with Roman on SmackDown. Like, I've always been a huge Roman fan.
I love what he's doing. I'll be honest with you. I was not impressed by him post Shield. I thought when the Shield broke up, he just was a very bland character. But ever since he came back last summer and it started the bloodline and working with Heyman, I'm hooked. Like, I'm hooked on Friday nights.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. And honestly, on Raw, I mean, it sounds cliche because I'm picking both champions, but I don't care. Do Big E, because he is like don't know him personally, so I can only go off what I see in interviews and like what other people say, but he seems like genuinely one of the nicest guys. And he seems like one of the most fun people to be around. And then when you get in the ring, it is just so smash mouth. So I feel like no matter how bad we beat the hell out of each other,
Yeah.
at least he'll be fun to hang out with afterwards, win or lose.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Other than the Nomads, who else do you have unfinished business with?
I think kind of just myself. I feel
Yeah.
like I didn't really accomplish as much as I would like to, and
Yeah.
I limited myself by not letting myself stay healthy.
Yeah.
And I didn't pursue enough, and I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot of bad blood out there.
Yeah.
You know, we had a little bit with War Inc. and Louis Perez hightailed his ass to Texas, so whatever. Dre Jacobs and we had our match, and he beat me, so I would like that rematch. I
Okay.
never got a chance to go against JD Ham. He's with War Inc. We don't have bad blood there, but he's with War Inc. So why not? I'll throw down with him.
Yeah.
And I see Billy Ray Daniels joined them, and I mean, technically, we turned on him, so he should be the one that wants to come after us. But for some reason, I feel like I still want to have a match with him.
Okay. Who in Michigan would you like to face that you haven't yet?
That I haven't yet. Let's see. One-on-one. I'm trying to think real quick because I've had a lot of tag matches with a lot of people.
All right. Factor out the tag matches.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to count the tag matches. One-on-one. Who do you want to face?
Mm-hmm.
And you can name as many as you want. I don't care. We got time.
Catch as catch can. Rounds. Time limits. Jeff King.
Okay. Okay.
Super old school rules.
Okay.
No, any match. I've actually tagged against Jeff King, but I would twice actually. But I would like to wrestle him on one-on-one. I would like to have a match with Josh Raymond again. I actually had a match with him years back in Holland when I was still pretty new. I think it was actually the third time we were in Holland, second time I was there as a Nomad. I had my match with Josh. I would like to wrestle him again. I would really like to get my one-on-one, obviously, with Ace and Norton.
Yep.
And then, since you brought it up, and now I'm really got it dancing around in my mind, I would really like to get my one-on-one with current Karam and current Tommy Vendetta. Malcolm Monroe the third, MM3.
Okay.
I've had him in a couple tag matches. He teamed with Purge over in Detroit, helped them come after us, but I want him one-on-one. I've had him.
I was there at that match.
The Purge match?
Yeah, and I recorded it.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you were.
Yeah, that's when who? Let's see. It was you, Ace.
It was me,
Billy,
Ace, and Nolan.
Yeah, Billy Ray.
And Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan. Yeah, Nolan Edward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Purge and MM3.
Oh my God, that match was so freaking hard to record because it was just all over the
arena.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to get my revenge on Monty Brown, but I don't think he's coming back to wrestling ever since he pounced me that day and oh my God, jacked my shoulder off. He about pounced me out of the ring. I was being an asshole back then though. I was beating up on an old blind man, Father Time. He come out there and he hit me really hard. I mean, he used to be, he used to play in the NFL, so of course he's gonna hit me hard, but I had it coming. But
now that you are primarily going as a singles wrestler, are there any singles titles you have your eye on?
God.
Because I know
Yes.
I know IPW has a really, really annoying Michiana champion right now. And I'm sure
He
the
likes
fan,
to comment on all my videos.
yeah.
All my videos. I guess any promotion that I would be in, but I've only been back in only IPW so far. I mean, I've only had one match. I would like to say yes, obviously, but I want to earn it. You know, I don't want to just be like, hey, it's, you know, he's back, give him a title match. I want to earn it. I don't
totally understandable.
You know, I don't want to hand my money to Aaron O'Ryan, who I've beat before, by the way. And
Oh, that is so awesome.
although he's a whole different competitor now too. Jesus, all the DTAR. I may as well fight them all again and see what happens.
Yeah, you never know.
He'll be pretty sore in this second coming.
Before I wrap up with my final few questions with you, I want to do a little role reversal with you because us podcasters and media guys, we always ask you a bunch of questions, and you are always you guys as wrestlers always very giving of your time with us, and so I want to give you a chance to ask me any pro wrestling related question that you have.
Okay. All right. Oh, but I got to do two things before we go to that because I had to clear it up after I was watching our match with the commentary on. I didn't have surgery on my elbow. I just hit people really hard. That's why I knocked the guy out. I didn't have surgery on my damn elbow. And before people start going after Storm on cultural appropriation or whatever, he is Cherokee and Lumbee Indian, and the headdress is not a costume prop. It's his grandfather's headdress.
Okay.
So
Fair
I just
enough.
wanted to say that.
Oh, no, fair enough.
All right. So now ask you a question. Celebrity deathmatch rules, triple threat. One of them has to die. Legitimate. You have Karam, Anderson Knight, Tommy Vendetta. Go.
Oh my God.
I'm just- I'm just playing. You don't have to answer that.
Oh God. Oh man. No, seriously. I don't know. Give me a legit one.
All right.
Thanks. You know what, Tommy, I love you, but I don't think it would bother if you got killed off in the death match.
Hey, do it on a smile on his face, and it would probably be some version of a cannonball.
Probably.
And it would be either Karam or I would probably be on his back. He would probably be backpack cannonballing into the other person.
Oh God. All right. Legitimate
All right.
questions now.
Legitimate questions. All right. So you've been watching. We're around the same age, probably just as long as I have. What is your first memory of wrestling?
Ooh. My first memory of pro wrestling is, man, if I had to say, it was shortly, I think I was 4 years old. It's crazy that I can remember that far back. It was shortly after Randy Savage won the world title at WrestleMania in the tournament, and I remember watching him on Saturday night's main events, and I forget who he was facing. Might have been Andre or a rematch with DiBiase, and then I just remember like Hogan coming out and making the save, and the Mega Powers were running hard, and they were the hottest thing in wrestling at the time, and I was just like so captivated by the Mega Power, but especially Hogan. We all know that's
to be a kid. He was like a superhero, that's the way that they had him out there. Bright red, bright yellow, slamming giants. It's hard not to be a fan of Hogan's that young.
And I mean, anyone knows my history, I mean, that's, that's how I got the nickname Hollywood. Being sixth, I think it was sixth or seventh grade, I would occasionally show up to school in an NWO shirt and black jeans. And one of my friends started calling me Hollywood one day, and it stuck. So yes, Hogan has obviously had his issues, and all that, all that drama. But
Yeah.
I can't sit here and cut out what he meant to my life in my childhood.
Mhm.
Um,
So you say that would be like the first thing that memory that made you a fan of
Yeah.
it also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
so,
How,
oh, go ahead.
how old were you when you realized that it was all fucking real?
Ooh.
No, how old were you when you realized that there was more to it, like it was that it was entertainment per se?
So I had an idea when I was a teenager, like I did.
Mhm.
I had a feeling like my stepdad, my parents, they were like, oh yeah, it's choreographed and the outcomes are predetermined, all that good stuff, whatever.
Mhm.
I really got to learn about the business in 2004, late 2004, when my best friend in middle school and high school, Noah
Mhm.
Lot, who is happy off in retirement somewhere. I don't know where he is, but he's doing fine. I used to go down to Coldwater with him to Dan Severn's wrestling school and watch the training sessions. And
Okay.
that was actually my first exposure to what the independent wrestling scene was up close. Like I had watched the I can't talk, tape trading videos of like some indie stuff. Like the first, like, this is no joke, and this is why I love CM Punk so freaking much. The first independent match I ever watched was from IWA Mid-South, and it was CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
That was your first indie match you watched?
That was outside of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
so not to prolong this or anything, but in 1999, my cousin, she had a really good friend in college, in high school. His name was Dewey Horton. That's his real name. Well, Dewey was a pro wrestler here in Grand Rapids, and he was known as Ace Decade. And Ace Decade, uh, we met before I knew he was a wrestler. And he came over one day to my cousin's house where I always hung out, and gave me tickets to a local pro wrestling show in 1999. I think it was 99 or 2000. And that promotion was Pro Wrestling Worldwide, and that eventually become known as Championship Wrestling in Michigan. And that Pro Wrestling Worldwide show was the first ever independent pro wrestling show I ever been to.
Nice.
Still didn't think it was fake until 2004, until I knew better. But I know you talked at the beginning about how you mentioned I played a small part in you coming back, and the role was kind of reversed in that, because I stepped away from independent wrestling and being involved and watching. I think it was 2011, because I had made a lot of mistakes. I was hanging around the wrong people, ran my mouth, didn't know any better, wasn't educated to the business. And I remember it was, I think, 4 or 5 years later is when you started, wrestling and training with Josh and became a Nomad. You were the one that brought me back in.
Mhm.
And
That
so,
debuted in 2014. August was my first match.
Yeah, so that makes sense because that was the year I had my third open heart surgery, and I remember I felt like something was missing. And when you started wrestling, because you had known me from our past lives in Allegan County and all that stuff, and so I felt like because you had brought me back in, I almost felt like it was my duty to try and help bring you back in. And
Yeah,
so,
now I'm sure as hell. Thanks a lot.
and so, and I will say this: I have had 3 moments this year involving wrestling that have made me overjoyed and have uplifted me in such a way that I never thought possible. The Cesaro video that I personally got from WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Karim coming back a month ago, because outside of like my local friends like you, he's honestly top 5, one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet right now. And
Yeah, he's a good guy.
yeah,
Please deal with him.
yeah. And the fact that he kept it a secret from me, IPW kept it a secret from me, like that's the type of stuff that keeps me going as a fan and making me passionate. Obviously, the third one was you pulling the wool over my head last weekend. And
I was at family dinner when I was really backstage.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was sitting next to our mutual friend, Jeremy. And I just looked at Jeremy. I was like, that son of a bitch got me. I'm like,
when I said I'm on my way, I wasn't leaving Allegan. I was just walking down the stairs to the curtain.
So, final few questions.
Yeah.
What promotions can people come to watch you at?
IPW for sure. I got a few dates with them. Let's see. I have my damn calendar in front of me. I know November 20th is Kalamazoo, and November 7th is Jackson.
Yeah.
December 4th, Grand Rapids.
Yep.
It will be, I'm sure, a matter of time. PPW, I believe their next time they'll be in Holland. I don't think I'm gonna be at the one coming up, but I'll be on their December one, 11th. I'd say IPW and PPW for sure, because I have close ties with both of them.
Yep.
Right now, it's too early to name any others. I know Capital Pro has made interest in reaching out for the beginning of next year, so I can't give any dates on that, but he told me that he'd be giving me some dates for next year.
Sweet.
So I'd say at least those 3 for sure for now.
Yeah, those are all
wrestling, Independence Pro Wrestling, Capital Pro.
Yeah, those are all, and you had told me one of your things was like you didn't want to be gone all the time. Because obviously, you have a family and you're getting older, you're getting wiser, but you still want to be a part of something you love. And I think that's commendable, honestly. Like
when they see me out there acting like a berserker, Viking, whatever, that's a mindset. I don't go home and do that. I'm a real person. I put myself in that mindset so I can go out there and tear somebody's head off like I did poor Storm Graham.
Yeah.
I don't go home and drink out of a horn and chew the head off of a deer. I'm not a real, I don't live that way. I don't take a long ship home. I take a van. That's just mindset,
Yeah. I guess what else do we got for you? Will you be producing any merchandise for fans to pick up anytime?
Yes. I'm hoping by at least the next IPW show, if something comes up prior to November 7th, it should have it. But we have some shirts that should be done by then, and fingers crossed, some beer mugs.
Save two
Or
for me.
whatever you want to put, or whatever you want to put in the mugs, but
Well, give me an XL shirt and a beer mug, and I will be happy.
hell yes. So yeah, look forward to that.
Yes. Where can people find you on social media?
I do have my Facebook, Anderson Knight, and Twitter, I believe is, good Lord, we just changed that tag.
Enforcer Knight.
Enforcer Knight. Thank you. You helped me figure that out.
And I need to help you. And I need to help you change your Instagram too a little.
Yeah, and Instagram, I believe the Instagram one is just Anderson Knight. So got Anderson Knight, Facebook, Instagram, Knight
YouTube.
Anderson, and I don't know. I don't remember my link, but I have a MySpace, and let's face it, none of y'all are gonna follow it anyway.
And you're on YouTube, correct?
I am on YouTube also as Anderson Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so, man. I'm just glad to be back. I feel bad for the Nomads. They've been having fun for like the last year and a half, going on 2 years, and it sucks to be them.
Yeah.
I was kind of annoying at the end, but they still did me wrong. Like Happy CJ or whatever. I went to Disney and got all whatever. Like we could have talked it out. No, they had to. Yeah, then they had to attack me, dude. And Pickles was like twice the man he was back then. Jesus, he's like 270 now. He was like 500 back then. That's way too big to be running into people.
Yeah.
No, the problem now is I can lift him now. He done screwed up.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, yeah.
I'm glad to be back. Once I wash my hands of those two idiots, that I can go back to doing what I love. And
yeah,
I don't know, who knows, maybe we can squash it in the future, but I'm not interested in that right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really glad you took the time out tonight, man. Really appreciate it. It's always great to catch up. Obviously I'm going to see you at shows, and we're, me, for people that don't know, me and you have ridden to shows a few times in the past. And I look forward to that again, because obviously you are one of those people I will always support, and I will always stand by your side and have your back when it comes to the wrestling stuff. And again, I am super grateful you took the time out tonight.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I said when I came back, I wanted my first interview to be with you on the Hollywood sports. I'm so sorry.
You're tired. I think we're all tired.
I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning for work, and I just got out of the gym, and I wanted to get this done. And I mean, good. It's only 8 o'clock. It's not supposed to be this dark.
The weather change. The weather changes, man.
Like, it does. I wanted my first interview to be done with you, and I'm glad we got to do that. We just had my first match last weekend. I'm hoping I get something before the 7th, but if it's a slow start, it's a slow start. I'm glad to be back and doing it again.
Awesome. Well, this has been Anderson Knight. I'm Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports. Sure to check me out on all my social media outlets. Sure to follow Anderson on all of his. And remember, controversy doesn't come without criticism.
Are we still recording? Oh, crap.
Yeah. You know what? Just gonna throw it out there before we end. I love Anderson Knight's humor. Always the best to me.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
All right, brother. Get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Nomads, go off.
Hollywood Joe.